In this video, we're talking about money mindset and how to improve it. Let's dig right in, Impactful One. Welcome to the Impact Driven Entrepreneur, the place to turn your knowledge and skills into $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 packages that create a sustainable business that makes over six figures, all without having to keep up with the latest social media trends or having to sacrifice time with your family. This is for you if you're a professional who wants to help people with your services and you're ready to kill it in your coaching practice. Let's get into today's episode. If you don't know me already, my name is Mariana. I'm the creator of the Impact Driven Coach School, where we help professionals to turn their knowledge and skills into $100,000 plus coaching businesses online. And today we're talking about money mindset, because as you go about starting your business from scratch or even growing and scaling your business, a lot can come up in terms of money. This is a topic that, if you've been struggling with getting to the financial goals you have, most likely there is something going on with your money mindset that is preventing you from reaching those goals. And so let's talk about it. Number one, the mathematics of it, right? I like to look at problems in business as math and then drama. Okay. So the math of it is money is really easy, right? All you got to do is make more, spend less, and you create wealth. Okay. That is the simple math of it, right? Make more money, spend less than you make. And if you take that money and you invest it, now you're automatically creating wealth. Okay. It is a simple mathematic equation. The reality of it though, the drama, right? Like all of the things that actually come up for people is, first we have all of the emotions that come up, our past stories, our past experiences, our limiting beliefs, all of the other things that actually come up when we are working with humans that are complex beings, right? And the behavior, right? So because we have these emotions, these beliefs, all of the stuff, we may not be able to behaviorally make that equation a reality. Okay. So that's where money mindset and what we are doing with how, we're managing our brain, like what's between our ears, that is why this is the most important work. And by the way, one of the main things that are income producing activities in your business. If you haven't downloaded the opt-in, go and get it for free. It talks about what are the highest income producing activities and how to raise your revenue ceiling. So go to impactdrivenentrepreneur.com/ceiling to grab that download, and you can begin to really implement what are the things that are going to make you the most money. However, back to the topic of mindset, which is one of those key areas that you're going to be working on inside of, your business every single day, is first, we need to develop a routine where you listen to what you're actually saying to yourself. Most of the time, the internal dialogue that you are interacting with yourself on, it is so common for you to hear yourself think that you don't even know that you're thinking to yourself or what you're saying to yourself. And there isn't cognitive awareness there. And so the first step is we need to create awareness for that, because if we're speaking to ourselves in a way that puts us down, that doesn't honor ourselves, that is mean to ourselves, that is judgmental to ourselves, we cannot change that if we don't see that. Okay. So one of my favorite things to do with clients as they're coming into our programs is to have them start a journaling routine where you're literally just writing down everything you think for a couple to 2 to 3 pages. And, this is not something I made up. It's called morning pages. If you look it up, it's something that has been taught for years. And it's very, very powerful for you to actually see like what is happening in my brain on a daily basis. Okay. And over time, you start to see that like, what are the things I'm telling myself? How do I feel when I say these things to myself? Is this the way that I want to treat myself? naturally, by you just being conscious of it and seeing it written down on paper, you're going to be exponentially more conscious, which makes you decide if you want to do that on purpose or not. Next is you want to start to look for triggers. And the beauty of triggers is that they come at us anytime, no matter what we're doing, oftentimes totally like blindsided, right? But the triggers are a beautiful gift. So let me define triggers just in case you don't know what they are. So basically a trigger is something that causes an emotional response from you, and it, generally speaking, is not a positive emotional response. And so it could be something like, I got really angry, or I got really upset, or I completely shut down and dissociated, like, or I, completely avoided this entire thing, right? So you want to look at what are the things that are triggering me, because oftentimes those triggers can shed light on wounds or areas for us to work on, and to really let ourselves be in them. Because most of the time when we're triggered, it goes so fast that like we have the trigger and then we're immediately going to our traditional coping mechanisms that may or may not be serving our higher goal. And so we want to be cognizant of our triggers and decide on purpose to heal them, to work through them, to honor ourselves and still love ourselves through having a trigger. Like, it's not like I got angry, now I'm just going to be mad at myself. No, it's more like I got angry, this is how I responded. Am I happy with how I'm responding in this situation? How would I want to respond in this situation? What is unhealed here? What is left for me to actually undo or heal or love myself through? How can I love myself through this? Right? There's a lot of gifts from our triggers. Another way that we can increase consciousness is by looking at unwanted behaviors. So perhaps you had a goal to, post on social media every day, but you didn't do it. Maybe you posted once and then you gave up, or maybe you post 3 times a day and you didn't do it. Now, there are many ways that we can approach this issue. Number one, we can look at the math, right? Did we actually have time in the schedule, like the system set up to do it, right? Like looking at all of the math of it, we want to do that, definitely. However, we also want to look at the drama side, right? And look at, and that sounds sort of judgmental, but like, let's look at what's happening between our ears, right? Did we have all of those issues ironed out mathematically? And then once we solve for all of that mathematics, let's look at, okay, now I'm still not doing it, right? Or now I'm doing it sort of, or now I'm doing it, but it's not in the way that I wanted it to be, right? So when we have the math of it solved, it's an opportunity for us to look at the emotional side and say, okay, I'm not doing the behavior that I want to do. And so how can I get myself to do it? And again, inside the school, this is why I teach behavior change inside of the Impact Driven Coach School, because we can tell you what to do all day long, and we can give you all of the math, and we can then solve for all of the mathematics of it. But without the behavior change component, it's going to be impossible for you to actually do those things. And so inside the school, we give you exponentially more tools on this. But what I want you to understand is that the behavior or lack of behavior that you're seeing is actually just an opportunity for you to grow. And I love it when I find these in myself in all areas of my life, whether, and I am very intense on this. Like I do, not just money mindset, but in every area, in my parenting, in my finances, in my house and my tidiness, and like how I'm showing up for myself throughout the day, at work, at the park, around strangers. Like I use every opportunity to look internally and decide on purpose to grow in that area. And oftentimes I see the reflection of that across all other areas. All right. So the point is looking at the behavior, wanted or unwanted, and deciding on purpose how you want to do it, and then reprogramming and really working through it so you can create behavior change that actually sticks. Next, notice the difference between stories and facts. Okay, so oftentimes people will come to me and they'll say, clients will say, I just am not making enough money. Okay, that is a story. It is not necessarily a fact. Okay, and so we want to really get clear whenever we're saying something to ourselves to define the difference between the story that we're telling ourselves and what the actual facts of the situation are. And really, parsing apart those two things in and of itself can start to decrease a lot of the emotional charge that is coming up with money mindset and with money in general. An example, one client may be very happy that she has $5,000 in her bank account. Another client may be completely devastated and feel like they are broke if they have $5,000 in their bank account. The fact has not changed. The only thing that has changed is the story. And I can't tell you how many situations, how many scenarios I have seen this happen. And so I really want to just express the importance of parsing out the stories and the facts. And when you start to get really good at that, a lot less emotional charge comes from the story, and you can pick your story on purpose. All right, next you want to think about healing your past, because a lot of money mindset stuff comes up from either childhood or past experiences, traumatic experiences, experiences that you had in your adult life dealing with money, or like times that you dealt with your money well or didn't deal with your money well. All of those things are opportunities for growth in terms of money mindset. And if you are, again, not able to really make an impact on that equation, the mathematics of it, there is often a lot underneath in terms of the past that is showing up again. And so when you're healing your past, you want to look at what are the patterns, what are the ideas that I perpetuated, right? What are the things that have happened that I have, basically repeated over and over. And those are the areas to really work on healing and reprogramming. One of my favorite exercises that we teach inside of the school is around goal setting. And the way that you want to do this is you want to create a goal. All right. So we've talked about goal setting in the past videos. We'll link to it in the show notes, in the description, as well as, if you're watching this on video, it should be popping up for you to go click on it. But with goal setting, let's take one of those goals, maybe the middle goal. If you've seen that video, you'll know what I'm talking about. But take one of your goals. And then what you want to do is think about, how would a person who already has attained this goal, how would they think about the situations? What behaviors would they have? What beliefs would they have? How would they perceive themselves? How would they talk to themselves? And you really want, and what skills, right? Because we actually need skills to attain goals as well. But my point is, really developing and mapping out an intentional way of operating based on your goals. And we go through this exercise at length inside the school. And I think this is one of the keys to create behavior change that sticks when we're looking at goal attainment. And I think goals are a beautiful opportunity for us to really step up how we show up in our lives. And then lastly is acknowledge every win, because not every win with our mindset or with our money mindset are necessarily going to translate into dollars in our bank account immediately. However, if we acknowledge those wins, we're more able to stick with it and to actually see financial gains from it. And so really acknowledging every single win in terms of a change in your perception, a way that you approach money differently, a way that you handle money differently, a way that you are either saving or investing or making more money. And every little piece of that needs to be acknowledged, and honoring yourself for that deep work, because this work can be a lot. One, because of the fact that it's transformational, it is a lot. And two, just because it's a lot, one, doesn't mean you can't do it. And two, we want to make it light and fun and really loving ourselves for being willing to do this work. And I like to think of this work as like, especially when we're talking about healing our childhood and our past experiences, right? This is such important work that it is, you're transcending oftentimes generations of issues in terms of money and finances and wealth creation. And you are creating that for yourself and your future generations. And so this is extremely important work in terms of mindset, and specifically money mindset, because it can set up, it has the potential to set up not only you and your kids and your family and whoever's around you now, and causes that you care about, etc., and whatever is around you now, but also generations to come, because of the fact that you are transcending those past patterns that were not intentional for you. So acknowledge every single win. Make sure that you download our free gift, What to Do Every Single Day to Raise Your Revenue Ceiling. It's at impactdrivenentrepreneur.com/ceiling. Go ahead and grab it there. And make sure you're subscribed to this channel, as well as hit the bell so that you get notified of upcoming videos that will be released to help you grow your six-figure coaching business. I'll see you on the other side.